So I just heard something really interesting that I see a lot, that is a misconception a lot of people have. And that's this idea that in order to uphold our own boundaries, we can no longer be nice or kind, that we are somehow being mean when we're upholding our boundaries. But that's not the case at all. We can uphold our boundaries with kindness. And specifically what this person said was that they were no longer going to meet other people who disrespect them with kindness just for the sake of being good. But again, upholding one's boundaries doesn't have to be considered mean. And I find it really interesting that people think about it this way, because it absolutely doesn't have to be the case. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. I'm Ann Blackwood, Annie for short, your Silicon Valley Sage Sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler. So I have this saying, and I'm still trying to find a better way to say it, but sometimes the most kind thing you can do is be cruel. And what I really mean when I'm saying this, it's just the most eloquent way to say it, but not the best way to say what I actually mean. What I mean when I'm actually saying this is that sometimes the most kind thing we can do for ourselves and others is do something that might be a little bit painful. But we don't actually have to be cruel or mean in order to do the things that we need to do for ourselves and others. And, sometimes the most helpful thing you can do for someone is not help them. But sometimes there are things that people need to hear, especially if it's for our own sake, like upholding our own boundaries. And the idea that this is considered something we're doing that's mean really kind of blows my mind, because self-care is not mean, and upholding your boundaries in the face of someone else isn't mean. And as I like to remind people, no one else can uphold your boundaries, only you can. Other people can respect your boundaries or not. So the nicest thing you can do is uphold your own boundaries for yourself and others, because it teaches others how to interact in the world in a more kind way. And we can also do this with kindness. We don't have to actually verbally be mean, though it might be a little painful for someone else to hear, a little uncomfortable for someone else to hear. It might be a little uncomfortable for you to express your boundaries at first. But the more you do it and the more others experience people doing it, the less uncomfortable it will be. And the more nice, the more goodness, the more kindness we will all experience in the exchange of upholding our boundaries and doing things like that. So the next time you find yourself thinking that you're doing something rude or mean or hurtful by upholding your own boundaries or saying something that someone else needs to hear, rather than thinking about it as something that's mean, rather shift your frame of mind to how can I say this in the most kind way possible? Because that's also going to be the way to take the most discomfort out of the situation. And then we no longer have to think about it being unkind or mean or not being good to uphold our boundaries or say the truth. We can think about it as the most kind thing we can possibly do, because not only are we upholding our boundaries for ourselves, we are getting other people used to having others uphold their boundaries, which is good for others just as much. And we're stopping for a moment before we say whatever we need to say and ask ourselves, what is the nicest, most kind way that I can say this so I'm taking as much discomfort as possible out of it? And you might not be able to take all the discomfort out of it, but you will be able to at least do it in a way in which is the most kind you can in the moment. And that's going to be better for everybody. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. May the energies you serve you well, and let's keep making our way through. Just kidding. One last thing before I go. We have been having a celebration here in the Balanced Blackwood Tribe for the last week, and I am excited to let you guys know that by request, I am extending it for a few more days until the 2nd, because why not? I am enjoying this so much, and on top of the discounts and bonuses that are already a part of the session packages, I want to let you guys get in on these special discounts because they really shake things up. Usually the free flow package is the smallest in price, but is usually the most expensive per package. And for this special offer, it, with the divine math, has become not only the smallest in price, but the least expensive per session. And I want to make that available for you guys for as long as possible. So we are extending it for a few more days. If you have any questions about my session packages, about the sessions in general, or anything else at all, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me an email. All the links are in the description. I just did an Instagram live this morning all about how grateful I am to get to live out my purpose in life through Blackwood Holistic, and how grateful I am to do it with you all, because I can't do it alone. I can't help others alone. So thank you all for being here, and I'll see you in the next one if I'm not seeing you one-on-one. Thank you for being here, guys.